Got a sunburn to peel the daggers off your tongue. Young and dumb, I'm rotting like a bed sore. In a cold case that's never gonna be more than scratching at the walls while you're waiting for a bullet to come. All along I've been treading in the deep end. Throw my mirror in the cupboard for the weekend. Try and put together pieces while I'm dreaming, but nothing's adding up to a thing but a hole in the head. Got a sunburn to peel the daggers off your tongue. Young and dumb, I'm rotting like a bed sore. In a cold case that's never gonna be more than scratching at the walls while you're waiting for a bullet to come. All along I've been treading in the deep end. Throw my mirror in the cupboard for the weekend. Try and put together pieces while I'm dreaming, but nothing's adding up to a thing but a hole in the head.
Have an opportunity here to provide leadership, support, and a voice to the voiceless. The sacrifices that we made during our service do not end here. We carry on, we push forward, and we give hope and inspiration through love, community, and support. Stay free.
Rights and freedoms in this country are absolutely everything to me, because I personally know the sacrifice required in order to get them back once they're gone. So, when my brothers and sisters call stand 2, be sure I'll be there.
Legacy media will play their games, right? Like, this isn't about this or that. This is about freedom, period.
The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. Brothers and sisters in uniform, whether you're a police officer, military, check your hearts. Look where we're going. Man, wake up. I beg you.
If the veterans can't stand up and get a message across to the government, I don't know who can. I don't know. But we're going to give it our best shot. And I think we have a chance to win this and do it. But we need your help. And we need you to come, and we need you to stand too. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
yes, they rob and sold out to the merchant shelves. Minutes after they took out from the bottomless pit, my head was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. Got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Oh, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. Got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs. It's all I ever have. Redemption songs, redemption songs, redemption songs.
Hey, what's up, troops? Jeff Evely, the Magnanimous GenX'er Male, back with you now for our second installment today. This is going to be a great segment, actually. I'm really looking forward to having this conversation. Carrie Sakamoto is backstage, ladies and gentlemen, and she is another vaccine-injured Canadian who is... taking the fight to the federal government who inflicted this hardship on her and the rest of us, for that matter. Dwayne over on Rumble says, evening, Jeff, evening, all. I'm going to go through a couple of quick evenings here. I don't want to leave Carrie waiting too long. I'm not sure how long we have her for. So, but Rob is here on Facebook and says 2 doses of radical candor in 1 day. How did we get so lucky? I think it was just the way the schedule worked out, brother. But you know what? I missed Monday because I had something else going on Monday. So I guess I'm making up for that now. And Cora's here is saying countrywide carbon tax protest April 1st. I've heard that. And I think I may have seen some what do you call them? Farmers on the move there in Quebec. So that looks positive. And Thomas says, evening. Hey, Thomas, thanks for being with us. And Holly is here saying, good evening, everyone. And Shiloh is here saying, evening, as is Catherine. And Billy is saying, wow, you're a busy guy, bro. Yeah, you're telling me, man. And Cindy is here saying, good evening, Jeff. All right, right on. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave Carrie waiting too long here, guys. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and hammer out. Here's my philosophy quote for this evening. And this is my second Marcus Aurelius quote today. He is my boy after all. He says, taking pleasure in helping others is a great thing, but it should be more than just an act of kindness. It should also make you feel good about yourself. And it does. You know, I was saying this earlier today, too. There is no better therapy than just working hard to solve your own problems. And it seems like there are more and more Canadians who can relate to that these days. So words of wisdom, folks. We got to get back to our roots as a society. And these are our foundational philosophies in the West: Stoicism, cynicism. So read a page of Marcus Aurelius every day and you will feel better. Okay. Oh, that was my quote from earlier. And here is our meme. And this is an office quote. What's this dude's name? Anyway, he's basically the main character. He said, well, not really. But this is the Blue Room. And they say, when I call a person who is injured by a vaccine an anti-vaxxer. Okay, then. Yeah, that's about the size of things here in Canada right now. Okay, so I have Carrie waiting backstage, folks. I'll go ahead and bring her in now. Carrie Sakamoto, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. And I understand you're not feeling very well today, so we might be limited in our time together. And I just want to let you know, like, absolutely no pressure whatsoever to continue any longer than you feel comfortable. So please just give me, maybe tap out or something if
Sure.
you're starting. All right. Yeah, but don't feel any compunction about just shutting me down whenever you need to. So Carrie, just for those of you who don't know who you are, would you mind telling us a little bit about your story, like say pre-COVID and then leading into the crisis, and how you ended up here, where you are today?
Sure. So pre-COVID, my husband and I had a small acreage just outside of Lethbridge, and 3 boys. One on the way out, he was heading off to college, and the other 2 were at home. And then COVID hit, and so we had my mother, who is a senior. She moved in with us because they were isolating so much, and so I had my mom living with me, and then my 2 youngest. Um, and we were listening to the news. I'm sorry, my memory is not good today. I apologize. I'm
No problem.
going to be off and on here.
No.
So
Take all the time you need. Yeah, you were you had your kids living with you, and I think your life was quite different at the time. I've been checking out.
Do you want to get ankles? Maybe your ankles? Oh, you were on crutches.
you catch me.
So for those of you who are just listening, that's Carrie, and it looks like you're playing with some kind of stilts there.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were quite healthy and active, young
Yeah.
mother.
Yes.
You had a husband and a nice home.
Yep.
And okay, so COVID hit,
COVID hit.
and
It happened. So when COVID hit, my husband was in the entertainment business, and concerts specifically. And we had also started doing a hemp seed breeding company from our farm. And so we were just plunking along like everyone else. And then COVID hit, and the entertainment side got shut down. And we didn't know how long it was going to be shut down. And so we just kind of waited. And then we went and got our vaccines. So I got my first one in April, and I I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be speaking in code today.
No, don't worry about it. I don't
Okay.
worry much.
So my first vaccine was AstraZeneca, and
Yeah.
because of our age group in our mid 40s, we were fairly soon. We got ours fairly quickly. This was 2001. And so we went and got those. And then in April, May, June, would have been the middle of June, like June 18th, we went and got our second vaccine. But this time they had pulled AstraZeneca from Canada. They were claiming that they were seeing blood clots, is what they were claiming at the time. And so, without too much discussion or hearing too much about it, they pulled it. So then I had to make a choice, and I chose Pfizer. I don't know had I chosen a different one if results would have been the same. Um, they're telling me it's from Pfizer because my reaction started right after my Pfizer, but I
Mhm.
question if it was a combination of mixing and Pfizer.
Right.
I don't really know. I would love to know the answer to that question. But regardless,
I
I
mean,
got my vaccine, second one. It was about 7 days in, and my husband and I had been experiencing flu symptoms, like they'd been saying on TV. They'd been saying, everything's okay, this is safe. They were seeing some rashes, and that was about all they were talking about. They said it's very safe. We're seeing great results. Go get this. I think we all heard it. It was all over the
of
news.
course. Yeah.
Um, so we went and got it. So the flu symptoms my husband recovered from, and I got worse. And by worse, I mean it felt like my brain was on fire. The body's reaction to pain is crazy. I started throwing up. I couldn't stop. Things got really, really bad. So I went into the hospital, and they treated me for migraine. Um, and so they'd given me a couple of different medications, and things had settled down. And so I thought, oh, this must have been a migraine. So they sent me on my way. Um, as soon as those medications had wore off, I was right back where I was. I was very, very sick. Um, so now it had been more days. We're talking about 9 days in now. So after it started up again, we went back to the hospital, and on our way, that's when the facial paralysis started. I believed it was a stroke. I
Okay.
wasn't sure what was happening. Um, I had seen my mom have a stroke when she was in her 40s, so I was concerned that that's what was happening to me. So I got back to the hospital, and they did some testing, and they said that this was Bell's palsy, and that I should be okay, that they were gonna put me on some steroids, and they taped my eye shut because it was paralyzed open. And they said, you need to take really good care of this eye. It can dry up. You can have a lot of really bad things happen. Um, so I was sent on my way. When I got home, and again, the medications had worn off, and all the pain came back to my brain. The paralysis started coming on the left side of my face. So my husband decided that that was enough, and we went back. And this time they admitted me. I couldn't chew or swallow my food because it goes s- directly down this half of my face, my tongue, my throat.
Yeah.
I was aspirating. So that's where I sat for the next 17 days with a whole lot of questions and not a lot of answers. Um, it was about 8 days.
17 days.
Yeah.
S- So 17 days in hospital. And I mean, what are they telling you during this time?
So
Any
we'd been
tests?
there, yeah, about over a week we had been in there. And the doctor came in and said that from the tests they had run and talking with his colleagues and going over all my medical records that they were looking at a vaccine injury, that this was caused by Pfizer, and it is Bell's palsy-like symptoms with, lucky me, other neurological issues. So, yeah.
And AstraZeneca was the one that was pulled. I guess I'm just curious as to, is the only reason they were saying that it was Pfizer because that was the most recent?
I really don't know what their reasoning was. I'm guessing it's because that was the most recent. And it was about 4 months after I got out of hospital that they did make an announcement that they were seeing Bell's palsy from Pfizer.
Yeah. And as I understand it, that wasn't like that's not a condition that doctors are generally familiar with. So what was that like?
They just said, you know what, this will go away. People recover from this. And I said, okay, this is a lot, but I mean, I didn't see any other option. I just had to try and heal. But part of my healing was I wanted people to know what was happening, that people were like me, were having reactions like this, just regular people. And that's when I was met with a lot of pushback. And so I applied for the vaccine injury support program. I did it partly so that I could give validation to my voice, so that I could prove this, so I could speak openly about it. So that's what I did. I joined the program. It's not a great program. I hear it's being run in comparison to the veterans program. So
So not good.
not good. Not good. I met with my local MP, Miss Rachel Thomas, and she was the one who was telling me about that. I was unaware of how the veterans program was. And so, yeah, she enlightened me, and they are very, very similar. They're very similar.
Well, a lot of veterans who showed up in Ottawa, several anyway, I think what motivated them to go there was this kind of recognition for just how the state can exploit people when they're in these vulnerable positions, because a lot of the guys actually had quinism or mefloquine poisoning, which still is not recognized by the government of Canada. I believe the government of Alberta passed some legislation to recognize and get some support for those who need it. But it is a real uphill battle, I know. So what was what was that like when you were dealing with the vaccine injury support program? How was it received? And
Well, I'm one of the few who's received any kind of compensation. It was a small amount, and I accepted right away because they starve you out. They make it. You wait so long that it's like they offer you something, you take it, and that's what I did. And not realizing that, I still don't think in my head. I thought this was going to go away. That this wasn't going to be permanent. I was going to get better.
Yeah.
But the harsh reality is this is a permanent injury. And the amount they gave me just isn't, it's not doable. It just isn't realistic.
Yeah. Not in terms of like planning a life, right?
Well, yes, and a lot of promises. We're going to pay for therapies, and they just denied all my medications. I have to go back into the reassessment process, which could take up to 14 months again, just to prove that the medications that I take for the condition they approved to be paid for. I mean, thousands of dollars
Sounds
of
like
therapies and medications that I'm still paying out of pocket. It's why I was suggested that I set up a Give Send Go.
I was just going to say that it sounds like that case of the veteran who lost his legs and still has to show up once a year to prove that they haven't grown back yet. That was
Yeah.
that was in the paper a few years ago, as I recall. So And yeah, since you mentioned Give Send Go, everybody, here is Carrie's vaccine, or sorry, here is Carrie's Give Send Go. It's Vaccine Injured Health Journey. So take a shot over there, and please give generously if you are able. And so the purpose of the Give Send Go, Carrie, do you want to explain that for us a little bit?
Sure. Right now, the Give Send Go is going strictly to medical services for me, therapies, medications, things like that. Um, I am also starting a legal battle. I have started a class action that I'm hoping is everything is going to go through, and we'll be able to fight this through the government. So I have two battles going on. I do anticipate, if this case goes forward, that I will be able to use some of the Give Send Go for legal fees. That would go a long way, especially if you can join the class action. Donations would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to try and fight for everybody. So I've got my health that I'm trying to fight for and get better. I'm fighting with the vaccine injury program to get what I deserve. And I'm fighting with my government for recognition of what they did, and who's responsible. Who can I hold responsible for this?
Yeah, no kidding. It's about getting some accountability at this point. And the lawsuits are starting to pile up, and we have seen some wins coming in so far in 2024. Not to say that we're not going to suffer some setbacks at some point, but it does appear to me that maybe the winds of change are blowing. And here is Rath Company, barrister and solicitors. And if you go up the top here, there's the COVID-19 vaccine class action. So this is the class action that Carrie has joined in here about the COVID-19 vaccine class action. So anybody can go and join this. Now, do you know if there's a deadline on this to join the class action? Or?
I don't know of any deadline right now. I know that it's specifically open to Alberta residents right now.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's the Alberta government, as well as the federal government that you're seeking some compensation from here, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Andrew was just chiming in, and he says, we will put Carrie up for the February support fund ballot. So in case you're not aware, we do that here at Veterans for Freedom. We have a support fund, and everybody donates to it. And once a month, whoever donates gets a chance to vote on where the pool of donations goes. So Drew was just letting us know that you're going to be a contestant for that.
Oh, thank you.
In February. So there you go. I mean, we got to help each other out. We gotta stick together in all of this. Everybody who's awakening to what's really happening with this, and I mean, so you haven't had much in the way of support coming from the Vaccine Injury Support Program, but what was the medical care like while you were hospitalized there? Because I understand, like, you were there for quite a while, weren't you?
I received excellent care.
Okay.
I really did. And I was fortunate because the hospital in Lethbridge, I hear, was full. And at the time there was strict restrictions. I could only see my husband at the time. Um, so I still have a team of doctors. I have my GP, I have two neurologists, and I have an ophthalmologist and an ophthalmologist. Unfortunately, right now, um, I'm having another side effect, and that's from the medications I'm taking now, and it's causing memory loss. So, a lot of fun stuff going on with my body. Just seems to it's going to react to everything now.
Yeah. God, it's just terrible. But and you mentioned that. So I guess what happens, because you mentioned that they were treating you for migraines initially, and that was after your Pfizer. But I guess I'm just deducing that there was some encephalization there, like swelling on the brain. Was that the
Um,
primary side effect?
we were being told that it was the meningenial lining in my brain had swelled, and that's what has cut off and caused the nerve damage. And that's the feeling of the burning in my brain, which I still get. And we're 3 years in.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you're 3 years in, and you still get these symptoms, and you have the memory loss that comes along with that. I guess is it just because you have the two kids there, and you have your husband's working, but is there any hope, I guess, that there's going to be, in care home or some kind of assistance with just managing life?
Well, I guess it would depend on, it's going to depend on a lot of things. It's going to depend if I can win this fight. I feel like I've got a really good chance. I'm speaking on the lawsuit. Um, all I really want to do is, have some stability so that I can heal. My husband's working his butt off. He's gone to work on the rigs, and he's doing well reclamations. He's going to get his class 1 trucking license. He's doing everything he possibly can to help me recover at home.
Well, you're very fortunate in that regard, at least. And so I think you're probably the first person I talked to that did actually do the mixing of the vaccines there. Did any of your healthcare providers like discuss any of the potential risks or side effects associated with that, or even just the novel vaccines themselves, for that matter?
I was told that by my GP at the time. She had said to me that she couldn't really give me an opinion because they were so new, and but her thoughts were that mixing with the mRNA, I would have more benefits.
Interesting. And so you had two, and then like you were. I mean, did they leave you alone after that, or are you still having any trouble for?
I had AHS call me twice and tell me it was safe to go get a booster. I asked if it was a joke. I said, "Do you realize that I'm vaccine injured?" And their response was, "It's safe." And I said, "I don't think so." And so I went to my doctor, and he ended up writing me a letter. Come to find out, these are very rare now. And it's a letter stating that because I had a reaction, I am never to get another one. So there's that.
Okay, at least you have some top cover there. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And insofar as the lawsuit goes, I understand that Eva Chipwick is your lawyer as well, and she is well known for cross-examining Trudeau during the Emergency Measures Act invocation, and she's just tweeting this out here. That Jeffrey Rath, lead counsel in the case, says, "I think Canadians will be shocked to learn about the rushed changes to safety standards for the COVID vaccines, which remove the requirement for the COVID vaccines to be either safe or effective, while at the same time the defendants promoted, distributed, and marketed the COVID vaccines as safe and effective to the public." And the defendants didn't stop there. They went further by coercion. Coercing the public to take the COVID vaccines by stripping rights from them or providing financial incentives for taking the COVID vaccines. What does that do for informed consent? Does this amount to a conspiracy to commit assault and battery on the public? These are questions that we are asking the court to determine, and I think the public deserves some answers. Yeah, I would say so. So, I mean, they're pursuing this as a class action right now. So, is it you're sort of the primary plaintiff in this? But do we have others joining at this moment? Do you know?
Yeah, as far as I know, there's been a handful of people join, but I
Okay.
haven't really touched base with Eva on that yet. But just from people reaching out to me, I've had a few people say, I could kiss you, I could hug you. Thank you so much. We just signed up. So there are people signing up.
And you mentioned that you get some pushback as well.
Mm.
What kind of pushback are you seeing?
So I get a lot from everywhere. I from social media, I've been told terrible things like MAID was invented for people with vaccine injuries. I got that one not very long ago. Um,
Yeah,
People are
lovely.
really upset. I don't know if they're scared when they see somebody like me and they hear my story that I was just like them and yet it happened to me. And some people, I get a lot of, well, it didn't happen to me. Sorry. Um, until I found a small community that's grown really large over the last few months. And that would be with Mr. Barber and Tamara Leach. They've mentioned me a couple times on social media and just expressing their support. And that means a lot. I feel like where I was sitting, mainstream, and all the people that were definitely for this vaccine turned their backs on me. And they all have the same attitude. It didn't happen to me. Um, and then, so now I've had this other huge community open their arms to me and say, come over here. We're fighting for our freedoms over here. There was a big fight going on that I really wasn't aware of.
And did you just kind of become aware of it through this whole experience of the social media backlash, followed by these saviors seeking you out?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. It's been hard to find my place. Um, Trying to navigate the vaccine injury support program without stepping on toes and just trying to get what I deserve from them. And I mean, I'm going on caseworker number 5 now, and this is a case that's pretty straightforward. I've had all of my doctors are all on the same page, so very frustrating to say the least.
Wow. So what seems to be the issue? Why do they keep changing up the caseworker?
And I'm hearing this a lot from different people. They get fired. I had my first caseworker was fired. So they go on holidays, they never come back. Um, get a lot of that. Oh, your case is moved to the next department. So you get a new caseworker there. I mean, it really doesn't make sense. There's not a whole lot of rhyme reason to it, which is why I reached out to uh, my MPs, looking for some answers. Maybe they can get some answers that I can't.
And forgive me, but who is your MP? I was just looking at this
Rachel
a little while ago.
Thomas?
Okay. And so I guess what kind of action is she taking, or what did she have to say about it when you spoke with her?
She had some very good ideas of just of people that I could reach out to
Mhm.
and express my concerns to, and she was also going to reach out to the program herself on my
Mhm.
behalf, and see if she could maybe get some answers that I couldn't. Um, so yeah, it's a difficult process, and they just kind of keep passing the buck along. So um,
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see if I get this reassessment and how quickly.
So it's really that she's offering to advocate for you in terms of getting better access to care through the vaccine injury support program. Um,
And
Probably
not
not so much.
even
Go ahead.
sorry, not even just me specifically, it's for the entire community. Like, where are these monies being allocated if they're not being
Mhm.
given to the people that clearly are in need of it?
Right. And I think I read somewhere, I don't know if you're tracking this or not, but I think I read somewhere that they already spent about 60% of the budget for the vaccine injury support program on big fat salaries for big fat cat bureaucrats. Any, were you aware of that?
Isn't that usually the case? Yeah, yeah, I've heard that too. Yep.
Okay. And are you having any conversations with your MP about, taking this to the Parliament in terms of, just what's been inflicted on us here? There really hasn't been anything that I've seen in the House of Commons about it.
I know she was definitely going to make some inquiries on my behalf, and see if she could find the right people to speak to the right people. It is quite the process.
So I understand. So you have Bell's policy, and that is, we're assuming right now, like that's not going to resolve, I guess. But is it Bell's policy per se, or is it Bell's policy like?
Yeah, it's Bell's palsy. Like, they've labeled it as Bell's palsy because when you look at me, that's what you're seeing.
Mhm.
But the neurological stuff that goes with it, the constant vertigo, buzzing, vibrating in my head, I have, yeah, and then with the side effects of the medications on top. So there's a lot going on that just isn't resolving.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that. And I saw something there that said that the University of Alberta contacted you as well.
Yeah, so we are speaking. I did speak with my GP on his thoughts on that. There is a study being done with the University of Alberta, and they are studying people who've had severe adverse reactions. Um, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going through with it yet. I'm still considering it. Um, I would like some answers. I'm just not sure that they're able to give them. I suppose I may go through with it if they have to give me full disclosure of all their findings.
Okay. But there is some interest, at least right now, coming through the University of Alberta in terms of better understanding the impacts, the undesired impacts of the vaccination program. So I'll take that as something like a win.
Yeah,
We're
small wins, right? Yeah, I mean, we're getting the word out. I'm getting the word out. I've made some noise, squeaky wheel.
Yeah, and that's kind of what needs to happen right now. Is I think we just got to keep that pressure up. It's like there are new cracks forming in this dam every day. We got to keep that pressure up until it bursts. And I mean, what is your main, I guess, concern going forward? Because obviously, like you're in it to win it here for this fight. So what is it that you're fighting against?
Well, I can't help my husband support my family, so I need some support, and we're shelling out money for medical costs on a one income now. So I need some
Wow.
financial support, and I need some accountability, and I want them to recognize that this is a bigger problem than what they're talking about, and that they are suppressing us and trying to keep us quiet.
Um, and who's they? I mean, the government,
Mainstream
or
media, and I would say the government only speaks on it when they're forced to. So,
yeah. And Cindy is here saying most people choose to live in denial, Carrie, but you have good people here to rely on, and she gives you the heart. Um, yeah, I was a bit, I guess, a little curious about your experience of awakening, especially when it comes to dealing with the woke mob or the pro-vaccine crowd. And my take on it is, it's basically like Nietzsche said, the more we secularize as a society, the more we would put the religious impulse into the state. And it seems like that's what people have done, is they put their faith in in the state media, and there's a kind of dogma that goes along with it. And if you blaspheme that state dogma, then you just get the heretical reaction. They just cry heresy and go for the pitchforks. So it's I guess my advice is to not take it personally. It's just kind of human nature. We're probably not as far out of the woods as we like to think that we are. So and there are a lot of people out here on the awake side who are all dealing with the same thing. Like, we all get attacked online. It's just unbelievable how cruel people can be, and but you're still trunching forward on all this. So we really appreciate your courage around here. Yeah, I guess I just wanted to hear, because I take it now, were you somebody who, I'm always interested in hearing the awakening stories. So, but I take it that you were somebody who basically trusted media and trusted government. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it took a lot, and I still find I get sucked back in sometimes. Um, Blind faith in the government, period. I don't know how I had so much blind faith in what they said, when they have proven so many times they can't be trusted. It is it's really hard to deal with. I actually see a psychologist as much as possible because of these conflicting feelings, because I guess you would say I was far leaning left. And now obviously I am not left at all. And so uh it
Well, welcome.
thank you. It's very nice over here. Thank you.
Welcome to
It
the
took a
racist
lot.
Nazi right wing.
It took a lot to get me here, and so it just shows how ingrained it is in a person. I thought I was pretty open-minded before, but I clearly was not.
Well, indoctrination is something that's really hard to see. And I think that there is a certain level of indoctrination in Canadian society. This indoctrination into something like a status cult. Everybody loves their big brother. I love my big brother. Don't you speak ill of my big brother. But even with some people, like on this side of things, on the awake side, or I guess on the right wing, if you will, but I still see, like, there's this residual indoctrination. I think people are still kind of working on themselves, and it's really just a question of degree. So definitely no shame in that. We're all victims in this regard. And I take it, like, now you have a more cynical view of the Canadian government and the healthcare system, maybe. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, that's one hell of a reality check, to have to, man, oh man, to deal with. I couldn't even imagine. Um, but so now I do see some, like, perhaps some messaging out there. Like, they are still pushing this poison on the Canadian Armed Forces, for example. I wonder, about the kids. They were giving it to 5 to 11-year-olds for to go to school, and we're coming into the fall again. I guess, is that a concern for you, when it comes to, like, future mandates or anything?
Yeah, the whole thing gives me a lot of anxiety. I hate it when I come across the news, any channel, and they're talking about the new vaccines, or the ones that are showing up in the spring. Now they were just talking about it today. Um, it blows my mind. I don't know. I just feel like we're still not properly informed. How can you have informed consent when they're still not talking about everything? They're not being realistic with people, so we're being deceived.
Yeah, and it seems that at this stage, they're just going to keep doubling down on these lies, because if they were to admit that they made any mistake, well, there would be hell to pay, right? So I think they're doing everything they can to just kind of tap dance away from this accountability. So we have to go after them with lawsuits like this, um, which is an incredible, I guess, time to be living through. So your husband is working and trying to support all of this. You guys are trying to support on all this on a single income. I heard you say you were on a farm previously. Like, has your life changed in that regard because of these additional hardships?
Yes, we sold everything. We sold our farm and moved to town because my husband changed careers. He was out of town. He works out of town a lot. Um, the kids and I had no independence. I wasn't driving at all at the time. Um, so, and because they were telling us that this was going to be permanent, we sold everything and moved into the city, which has been a huge change. I don't think it's been for the better, but I guess time will tell.
You prefer to live out in the country on the
Yes.
farm?
Yes. We were out there for 15 years, so this is a big change.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. I lived in Ottawa for 7 years, and I'm a small town Nova Scotia boy. But during my service, I moved around quite a bit, and I don't think I ever want to live in a city again. So my heart goes out to you there.
Oh, thank you. I need to wrap this up if that's okay.
Yes,
But I
absolutely.
thank you so much for giving me a
I
space.
Absolutely. Anytime. And I'm just going to vector everybody back on to your Give, Send, Go for Vaccine Injured Health Journey. So this is Carrie's Give, Send, Go. So please give generously if you're able to help her with her mounting healthcare costs. And like Drew was saying, we'll get you on the Veterans for Freedom Support Fund for next month. So here is our Veterans for Freedom website, and you can go there and join the support fund if you like. You can sign up with your credit card by using any one of these buttons here. If you don't want to use a credit card, please send your e-transfer to fund@veteransforfreedom.ca. That's fund@veterans4freedom.ca. Auto deposit enabled if you can. If you can't, then please use the password fund for freedom. That's all caps fund, number 4, all caps freedom. And that brings us all the way back to Marcus Aurelius, folks. Taking pleasure in helping others is a great thing, but it should be more than just an act of kindness. It should also make you feel good about yourself. Carrie, yeah, I really appreciate you being so generous with your time, and I fully understand that it can be quite a task for somebody who's dealing with some of these other conditions. But I just want to throw it over to you for a few final thoughts. And I really appreciate your courage. I really admire that you're pushing forward with this lawsuit. So thanks very much. This is exactly the kind of thing that needs to happen, and the awareness raising as well. So, but I just want to throw it to you for a final thought before you sign off. Go ahead.
Just that my husband has coined me the accidental activist, that I just kind of stumbled upon this. I've never been very outspoken, but I'm definitely going to try and use my voice and make as much noise and as awareness as possible.
Well, Godspeed with that. All the best of luck to you, ma'am. And again, I appreciate you being so generous with your time. And guys, I just dumped the link to the Give, Send, Go in all the chats there for anybody who wants to head over there and give Carrie a hand. And I'm sure she would appreciate it. But till next time, folks, stay frosty and stay safe.
Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? It's all I ever have. Redemption songs.